Triple Fights, where the champions rise, 305, donde surgen los campeones. I'm here with Mr. Joshua. I like what he said before. He said, I'm back in the cage, I'm 1-0, and I'm going to be 2-0. So I noticed you said that. That's good. You always got to believe in yourself and you have confidence. First of all, so everybody buys tickets and go to see you. What's your social media?
My social media is _Ifram. It's ITHRIMM.
So estos son los medios sociales. Vamos a comprar los tickets, vamos a apoyarlo. Any information you need, you go to triple-fights.tv, because that's what we are. We're a platform for these young people. This young man's in great shape. He's a great fighter, and what I love the most, he has a great attitude. He shows respect and honor. So I asked him, hey, if it was okay to do a tutorial. You know, I've been doing a lot of tutorials. The last tutorial was on strategy and tactics, on, everybody goes back, but how to go back at angles. If you saw I was playing around, I set up the right hand with stepping. I wanted to talk about sparring. For example, Adesanya and Strickland fighting today, okay? And Strickland is a guy that does a lot of sparring. In fact, they call him the king of the gym because he does a lot of sparring. But let me ask, everybody's into sparring, but let me ask a question. What is sparring? Okay, so what does sparring mean to you, for example?
To me, it's a way to get experience in the feel for a fight without actually hurting each other. Excellent.
I like the part where you said, get the experience without hurting each other. I call that a method of training. Like you train the heavy bag, you train the pads. For me, sparring is a method of training. What happens, a lot of guys, is they go full out in sparring, they hurt, and they fight hurt. For me, you gotta make the person hurt inside the cage, not outside the cage. You gotta be as healthier. So for me, it's a method of training. One of the things that I think that you train in sparring is the elements of combat. You wanna guess what the elements of combat are?
Okay. I'm gonna just go off specifics. I'll say footwork, timing,
excellent,
and technique.
There you go. You see, I love that too, young man. Smart and powerful. These guys are the future of combat sports. He said timing. I'm gonna give you a little tip out there. This is just 50 years of experience. Fighting is about two things: timing and positioning. So instead of just sparring, for example, if I may with you, okay, let's put your hands up. Let's say we're sparring. You're throwing stuff at me. I'm throwing stuff at you. Okay, people do that, and what happens is you throw stuff at me, they block, they get hit, then the other guy blocks and hit, and it's like, okay, I'm a punching bag, he's a punching bag. How are you practicing timing there? I noticed this a lot. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna decide to practice timing. So when I move with him and he moves, and he does something at me, I checked it, he does something again, I stepped, he does something again, I counter. Now what I'm doing, he doesn't know. I wouldn't be saying this. As he's moving and he throws something, I'll check it, I'll counter it, I add a combination. Now if I spar 5 rounds like this, at the end of sparring, my timing is better.
Yeah.
Instead of just you hit me and I hit you. What happens a lot of times is people, they spar without a plan to spar. Like, what are they gonna do? Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, now a quick little thing is timing. So how do you practice timing? Okay, I'll tell you something about timing. Let's say we have our hands up and he jabbed and I checked it, he jabbed and I counter. Okay, that is timing. But the best way to work timing is through movement. So not only are we moving, my hands are not still. My hands are moving. So when he does something, you see how I'm in motion?
Yeah.
Instead of being still and waiting, punch. The best way is not only to be in motion, but my hands are in motion. Since my hands are in motion, when he throws something, you see how I caught it?
Yeah.
I caught it because my hands are in motion. If I'm not in motion, I gotta go from stillness, and a reaction is always slower than an action.
Natural Motion Systems, NMS, Essence, Evolution, and Innovation.